said it all. I don't know what else to say. You know what? I like to play some guessing games sometimes. Now, I've told some people already how old I am. But for those who don't know, how old do you think I am? I'll give you a hint. Is it 30, 40, or 50? 40. What is side says? 30, 40, or 50? 50. I'll tell you before I'm finished. There I am, okay?
Okay.
I think from working all the days of my life so far, it has kept me looking young.
14.
You are close. She said 30. You see, I worked all my life until one day at the office I got this call. I was in a meeting, I decided to take the call because it was a professor calling me. And we had not communicated for years, we were classmates. So I took the call, I said it must be urgent. And he said, Leon, I have not seen you since I'm practicing as a doctor. I want you to come and see me tomorrow. It is free. Don't worry about paying. So I said, well, all right, nothing to lose, I'll go. That was October 2020. And then he said, I want you to go for a test on your heart. I want you to test your kidneys. I want you to test your prostate. I want to get a blood profile. I said, oh, he's smart. He knows how to make money. He called me for free to tell me, go. And you have to pay for each of these tests, by the way. $600 US each.
Wow.
So I did the test and they said, okay, come back in a week's time and you get the result. When I got the result, I couldn't talk. I don't know if any of you have had a diagnosis before where you just go silent. I remember going home and I didn't say a thing to my mom. I didn't say anything to my family. Now before leaving with the results, he said, Leon, I'm hearing something in your heart. I can't tell what it is. I will call you for a next test. In the meantime, you have been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I couldn't repeat those words at all. I had asked him then, right there, what should I do? He said, it's easy, we could remove it for you. That'll cost you 25,000 US.
Wow.
I said, Doc, there's some other procedures like putting in the radioactive grains. He said, yes, that's new, Leon, especially to this part of the world. And if we put that grain into your prostate, who knows, it might float away in your bloodstream and end up in your brain and kill part of your brain. So don't go there. Just remove the prostate. Yep. I really didn't know what to do. So I stayed silent for 1 full week. Not a word, not even to the dog. And you know, in this life, you meet people from wherever you go. And I've been around. I remember 33 years ago, meeting a young lady. In fact, I thought she was a schoolgirl. If I tell you the whole story, it will take the rest of the night. So I'll just say I met her. I introduced myself. I asked her, where's her mommy? You know, just like we have children here. I said, where's your mommy? You're not supposed to be in this room now. And she said, no, I'm a grown woman. I said, grown? She said, I have 3 children already. She's sitting right here. So I sent her off an email, I think it was, to the Evelina Console. Yeah, just stand and say hi. Yeah. So I trust that lady, of all the people on the whole planet, I trusted her. And I said, well, remember we helped one of your friends who had cancer with a product from Singapore. It was a mangosteen extract. I said, could you send me a box of it? 24 bottles. She said, Leon, let me look at what your request is asking for. I'll get back to you. There might be something that is more advanced and superior. The next day, I got a letter from her, an email saying, Leon, I contacted someone, his name is Ramamondo, and and his wife Fides Ondo. They will talk to you about a product. I don't know about it. Would you listen in a Zoom? And I said, sure. And I listened to the Zoom. Immediately, right there, I know that I could trust Ramanando. I know I could trust Fides Ondo. And I'd already had trust in Evelina Consol. And I said, I want this product now. Now, Evelina Consol wasn't in Rivia. She was in the next company. She was just my contact person. And I insisted, I want this thing now. Because this was now December 5th, 2020. And in my country, when you head into Christmas, and all the containers are coming into the port, your stuff can be locked into that container until February, or March, or April, maybe by May. So I said, no, I want this now, send it now. Just tell me how to get it. So I got it. I got it before Christmas. He said, don't worry, Fides is going to handle this. We'll do the transaction. Think a little more again about it. Be sure this is what you really want. And we entered conversation about a millionaire package. And I didn't have any information in my head, but I just believed what they were saying. I got it. I was super happy. I used it. I gave it to my mom. She was 85.
Wow.
I spoke to my brothers about it. I have 10 brothers. I spoke to my brothers about it. And in my opinion, this is the most important part of the story, so listen to it. You know when you speak to your relatives and your own household and your good friends, I hate to say it. So I spoke to my brothers. He's sitting there next to my mom. And I said, Mom, you know, my prostate, the doctor said I have prostate cancer. And my mom at 85 was really funny sometimes. She turned to my brother and she said, Alvin, is my prostate okay? And he froze. I said, Mom, you don't have a prostate. and then she changed the topic. She said, is my heart okay? My heart is okay, right? And right there I told my brother, I said, listen, Dad had prostate problems. My uncle has prostate cancer. My eldest brother had prostate cancer at the time, and staying very quiet. And I said, we need to strengthen our prostate. And he said, no, my prostate is okay. You know, just a few months after that, my brother was all dressed up, waiting to go for music practice. And Mom was calling him. She would call by knocking a stick on the floor. And he wasn't answering. And the driver was waiting for him. After half an hour, I heard when the driver started his car. You know, sometimes you don't meddle. I'm on the ground floor, they're on the top floor. I'm not meddling. They're doing their thing. One knocking, driver waiting. He has a key for the gate, but I don't know why he didn't come in. Anyway, I decided to go up and see what's happening. My brother was fully dressed, with his shoes on, laying back on the bed, dead. The doctor said, massive heart attack. 2 months after that, one of my youngest brothers felt sick, took 2 days at home, went to work, speaking to his boss at the desk and just collapsed. Heart attack. And I didn't tell you about the first one who was arguing with the neighbor on his cell phone for blocking the driveway uphill to his house. And his mom just heard silence. When she went into his bedroom, he was dead. Heart attack. So I told you that bit of story to say, I am taking the pill for my prostate. I was concentrating on what's happening down here. It didn't matter to me what else. If my fingernails got better, if my hair was growing too fast, if I was getting younger, those things didn't matter. I wanted my prostate intact. You know what? I felt a little strange
What?
This particular morning, just a little light-headed. And I called the professor, the same one who says, I have not seen you, but I'm hearing something in your heart. When I called him, he says, Leon, come here now. I called my son, who is an hour away. He picked me up, we went to the hospital. They were out in the car park waiting for me. Put me on the stretcher, wheeled me into the lab. Hooked me up and says, Leon, you are having a heart attack. They said, we recommend surgery immediately. I said, my son is here, let him discuss the paperwork with you. And they did the surgery. At the end of the surgery, the same professor, he came and he was rubbing my toes. And he said, Leon, you are a lucky guy. You're supposed to be dead. We don't know what happened. I said, Doc, remember I told you I wasn't taking the surgery for the prostate? I used something called Prostate with stem cells. And they tell me it will work for my entire body. He said, oh, now I understand. So sometimes you might be taking it because you can't see properly. And at the end of taking it, something else is rectified in your system. I don't know. But people say I look like 30. Some believe I'm 40. I am 70. That's the extra icing on the cake. Extra icing on the cake. Topped with chocolates. Listen, if you haven't started using the Prostate yet, use it. And the best people for you to bring into this hall to listen to us speak about our experiences would be the businessman. You know why? Ask me why.
Why?
Well, the businessman has money to buy. And the businessman has business friends who would also buy. And they will build teams because of you. And that is how we're going to save the world. This thing is not just about Manila or the Philippines. The world is your stage. This is a global stage, network. So thanks for listening to me tonight. I hope you take this seriously. Right? No joking about it. Even if you don't have a prostate. Okay? Thank you very much.